Hey, Jesse450 here, and as you saw in my last video, I've got a Super Nintendo. I've had it, actually I think probably had it all my life. I don't remember when I got it if I didn't. But yeah, it's the first console I ever had at least. And well, I figured I'd just at least show it to you. It's pretty good for a console. It's probably my favorite classic one that I've played. Well, N64 was pretty good too, but yeah, I really liked this. I've played it so many times. I can't even count how many times. Yeah, it's obviously a little dusty and rusted and beaten up from all the times I've played it. NES control deck. Well, yeah. I figured I'd hook this thing up and show you some gameplay from a little bit of stuff. And so yeah, I've got a wide variety and collection of games for the Super Nintendo. Here's one of the controllers in case you don't know what they look like. I've actually got two different ones. You can hear stuff rattling around in there. Actually, surprisingly, it's still kind of clicky on the buttons here. Here's my other one. This one's got a little more color. These never were clicky. These are not supposed to be clicky, just so you know. This one was not like one that came with the system. That's what this one was, as you can see, because it like matches it. This one's a Super Pad by Performance, and yeah, it's surprisingly it's even more clicky than the other one. Even though I'm not sure which one you probably would have used more. I use this one a lot more just because this one has rounded out buttons. And sorry. Yeah, this one's got a lot more like dented in buttons, and it's just a lot more comfortable for me to use these. I like the buttons on this more for some reason. And so yeah, I'm just gonna hook this up and show you some gameplay of it. But before I do that, I want to show you some of the games from my collection in case you want to get one of these. I could show you some of the games that I think are really cool. As you can see, we've got Super Mario Kart right here. Sorry for the poor lighting, but this is one of my favorites. Basically, I'm just going to show you some of my favorites. I've got more than I'm going to show you, but I don't have that kind of time. Yeah, this is the first one. You can play as Mario, Luigi, Bowser, Donkey Kong Jr. It's actually Donkey Kong Jr. Peach, Koopa Troopa, Dry Bones, and Toad. My favorite is Toad, just because I always believed he was the best one, even though they're actually all the same. Koopa Troopa just for some reason always sucks. For some reason, Koopa Troopa and Dry Bones. Actually, Dry Bones always sucks. There are a few times when Koopa Troopa is really good for some reason. I don't know why, but Donkey Kong Jr. is always really good. I'm not sure if that's just a coincidence or what, but because you don't have like cart selection or anything like you do in the modern ones. But this was probably one of the ones I've played the most. And I might show you some gameplay of this later. And yeah, so let's move on. You've got this one here. It's called 3D Balls. It's fighting at its ballsiest. Yeah, it's kind of like a comedy fighting one. That's kind of why they called it that. But it's also called that because the characters are literally made out of balls, and you fight. And don't make fun of me for the name of this game, but this is probably the best fighting game I've ever played on the Super Nintendo, because it's pretty cool. You can tell by looking at them that some of them are based off of things. Like there's one off of a ninja, one off of Rhino, the villain from Spider-Man. There's a monkey one, caveman one. You should be able to tell just by looking at them what they're based off of. in their fighting style, if you can't tell. And yeah, it's always fun because your enemy like falls into, just scatters around into all the little balls when you win. And there's a little screen in the back. There's like a Titantron, and it has sometimes it has some funny quotes on the back of it, some funny sayings based on what you do. Yeah. Alright, this is Super Mario All-Stars. This is pretty fun because it has Super Mario Bros. From '85, Super Mario Bros. Lost Levels, the levels they never had in it. Yeah. It's got Super Mario Bros. 2 and Super Mario Bros. 3. And they're all like digitally remastered stuff. Well, it's remastered for this time. They probably have remade them again and made them even better quality. But these are actually really fun. Obviously, because Super Mario Bros. Has always been fun, but on the Super Nintendo it's even more fun. And yeah, so it's a classic collection, so no reason not to pick it up. And I figured I'd save the best for last. This is my all-time favorite Super Nintendo game. It's a Super Punch-Out. It's a boxing game. I'm not really into boxing, but this one's fun because it's kind of like a comedic arcade-style boxing game where there are different circuits and you go on fighting as basically just a young boxer guy, and you face a ton of different people, and all the characters are so unique, and that's the part I love about it. As a little kid, the first level is the most fun because you get to beat up like an old grandpa guy who absolutely sucks. If you lose, you are the worst gamer I've ever met, unless you lose on purpose. But yeah, and there are secret ways to knock down someone and get them knocked out on the first knockdown, and of course they break the traditional boxing rules, but like kicking you and stuff. But yeah, I've really got to go. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll upload a gameplay video sometime soon.